Right now, as you watch this video, billions of dollars are moving in ways most people do not understand. You are told it's a transfer of wealth from one generation to another, but history tells us something uncomfortable. This is not a transfer. It is consolidation, and the pattern has repeated itself for over 2,000 years. Welcome to Finance Meets History. On this channel, we do not chase trends. We trace patterns. We explain modern money using the mistakes of the past. Because history does not repeat, it punishes the same mistakes over and over. Rome believed it. Germany believed it. America believes it. And they were all wrong. Every time a society thinks wealth is about to move downward, it actually moves upward. And once you understand the pattern, you cannot unsee it. Before every financial collapse, life feels normal. Markets look strong. Savings feel safe. The future feels predictable. This is the most dangerous phase. Systems do not collapse during panic. They collapse during confidence. Rome collapsed during expansion. Germany collapsed during recovery. America is beginning to collapse during prosperity. Rome was not a poor empire. It was powerful, sophisticated, and rich beyond imagination. Its armies spanned continents. Trade routes connected Europe, Africa, and the Middle East, and the Roman denarius, a silver coin, was trusted across the known world. Citizens could save in denarii. Merchants accepted them everywhere. Families believed their wealth was secure. This was stage one, the foundation of trust. Everything seemed permanent. But Rome was not safe. Like all empires, it had obligations. Armies needed salaries. Borders needed defense. The state promised grain distributions and entertainment to appease citizens. Each generation inherited higher costs than the last. The system required money, and the empire had only finite silver. Raising taxes or cutting public programs was politically impossible. So Rome chose the easiest solution: debasement. Under Nero, the denarius's silver content dropped from nearly 95% to about 80%. Citizens barely noticed. The coin looked the same. The stamp still said denarius. Confidence persisted. This is how collapse begins: quietly, mechanically, slowly. Expansion and debasement had begun. At first, nothing seemed wrong. Trade continued. Markets functioned. Rome expanded. Citizens assumed the system was stable. But invisible forces were at work. As silver content fell, purchasing power slowly eroded. Prices rose. Small farmers and artisans who held currency found their savings worth less every day. Meanwhile, large landowners who held land and tangible assets became relatively wealthier. Debt accumulated. Foreclosures increased. Wealth quietly shifted from the many to the few. Over the next century, emperors repeated this pattern. Each reduced the coin's silver content further. By the time of Septimius Severus, silver content was below 50%. Citizens still used denarii without question, but every year, the same amount of coins bought less. Those holding money lost. Those holding assets gained. Rome was experiencing loss of control, but few noticed until it was too late. Eventually, the empire tried to reform. New coins were introduced. Price controls were enacted. But these efforts came too late. Ownership had already concentrated. The middle class was hollowed. Rome survived politically, but collapsed economically. Debasement punished savers, rewarded asset holders, and consolidated wealth quietly and inevitably. Fast forward to Germany after World War I. The pattern repeated, but much faster. Germany was modern, industrial, and productive. Its problem was not productivity, it was obligation. Reparations demanded 132 billion gold marks, equivalent to over 500 billion today. Germany did not have the gold. It had paper currency and productive citizens, but not enough reserves to satisfy the global demands. The government faced a choice: raise taxes, cut spending, default, or print money. Raising taxes could provoke unrest. Cutting spending risked collapse. Default risked international isolation. The easiest path was printing money. In 1921, Germany quietly increased the money supply. Prices rose slowly. People assumed it was temporary. Savings still existed on paper. Confidence persisted, just like in Rome centuries earlier. But as more money was printed, inflation accelerated. By mid-1922, the exchange rate had jumped to 320 marks per dollar. 6 months later, 7,400 marks per dollar. By November 1923, $1 equaled 4.2 trillion marks. Imagine a loaf of bread costing 160 marks in 1922, now costing 200 billion marks in 1923. Life savings evaporated in weeks. Generations of disciplined Germans lost everything overnight, but not everyone lost. Those who owned land, gold, or foreign currency survived and prospered. Wealth shifted from citizens who relied on paper money to those with tangible assets. The middle class was decimated. Small businesses disappeared. Farms were lost. The wealthy consolidated control. Stage 3 loss of control had arrived. Stage 4 reset was implemented with the Rentenmark in 1924. Prices stabilized. Markets functioned, but the damage was permanent. Ownership concentrated. The middle class hollowed. The winners were those holding real assets. The pattern repeated with frightening precision. Now America. Unlike Rome or Germany, America's collapse is slow and quiet, but the stages are identical. After World War II, the dollar was gold-backed, trusted worldwide. The middle class flourished. Savings mattered. Homes were affordable. Wages grew. This was stage 1. Then came 1971. Nixon severed the dollar from gold. Fiat currency replaced gold-backed security. Money became unlimited. Most Americans did not notice. Stage 2 expansion and debasement had begun. Debt replaced discipline. Assets rose faster than wages. Savings lost purchasing power. Homes became investments. Stocks became survival. Debt became normal. The middle class was hollowed quietly, just as in Rome and Germany. But as more money was printed, inflation accelerated. By mid-1922, the exchange rate had jumped to 320 marks per dollar. 6 months later, 7,400 marks per dollar. By November 1923, $1 equaled 4.2 trillion marks. Imagine a loaf of bread costing 160 marks in 1922, now costing 200 billion marks in 1923. Life savings evaporated in weeks. Generations of disciplined Germans lost everything overnight, but not everyone lost. Those who owned land, gold, or foreign currency survived and prospered. Wealth shifted from citizens who relied on paper money to those with tangible assets. The middle class was decimated. Small businesses disappeared. Farms were lost. The wealthy consolidated control. Stage 3 loss of control had arrived. Stage 4 reset was implemented with the Rentenmark in 1924. Prices stabilized. Markets functioned, but the damage was permanent. Ownership concentrated. The middle class hollowed. The winners were those holding real assets. The pattern repeated with frightening precision. Now America. Unlike Rome or Germany, America's collapse is slow and quiet, but the stages are identical. After World War II, the dollar was gold-backed, trusted worldwide. The middle class flourished. Savings mattered. Homes were affordable. Wages grew. This was stage 1. Then came 1971. Nixon severed the dollar from gold. Fiat currency replaced gold-backed security. Money became unlimited. Most Americans did not notice. Stage 2 expansion and debasement had begun. Debt replaced discipline. Assets rose faster than wages. Savings lost purchasing power. Homes became investments. Stocks became survival. Debt became normal. The middle class was hollowed quietly, just as in Rome and Germany. 2008 exposed the system. Banks were saved, assets recovered, workers waited. 2020 accelerated everything. Trillions were created. Inflation followed. Ownership concentrated. The top 1% hold over 30% of total wealth, $50 trillion. The bottom 50% hold just 2.8%. The media calls this a $124 trillion wealth transfer. But most of it is not moving downward. It is consolidating at the top. Millennials and Gen Z expect trillions in inheritance, but only 26% of Americans plan to leave any. The middle class is funding someone else's wealth. The lesson is clear. Stage 1, trust. Stage 2, expansion and debasement. Stage 3, loss of control. Stage 4, reset and consolidation. History does not warn loudly, it repeats quietly. The first takeaway: wealth transfers reward preparation, insight, and positioning, not patience. Rome punished savers with silver coins. Germany punished savers with marks. America punishes savers with dollars. Asset holders win every time. The second takeaway: money is more than currency. It is trust, policy, and psychology. Governments, banks, and elites control creation. Ordinary citizens often underestimate this power. The third takeaway: crises are predictable if you understand patterns. Rome took centuries, Germany years, America decades. Timing differs, mechanics remain. Awareness is your power. Stop waiting for money that statistically will not come. Diversify into assets that preserve and grow value: real estate, equities, commodities. Observe patterns. Learn from history. Finance meets history does not exist to scare you. It exists to teach. History shows patterns. Patterns show inevitability. Understanding them gives power. The choice is yours. Will you be a spectator, or will you position yourself on the right side of history? If this video changed how you see wealth, subscribe to Finance Meets History. Hit like, share this video. History does not warn loudly, it repeats quietly. Stay aware, stay informed, and position yourself for the wealth consolidation happening now.